Who are you when nobody is watching? And how different is that from the version people see publicly? I'm Creston Fitzgerald Coleman, not just Creston Coleman. Um, Same body, but different people. Everybody has met a lot of people in my life and in my past has met Creston Coleman, the joker, the fun timer, the partier, the traveler. Um, a lot of people haven't met Creston Fitzgerald Coleman. A lot of people don't even know that he exists. Um, Creston Fitzgerald Coleman is the creator. He's the visionary. Now, one thing that they do both share is that you know they're both dreamers. Um, but and that aspect has been one thing that has propelled and grown Creston Fitzgerald Coleman. What's the truth about your journey that would make people look at you differently if they really knew it? It's been hard. It's been hard. It's been hard. It's been over 5 years. It's been hard. Um, but one thing that always resonated and stuck with me throughout the process, day in, day out, is that, that I had to leave my 4-month-old daughter um, to relocate back to Peoria, Illinois to create this film. You talk about sacrifice. What did you actually lose that still bothers you today? Um, Money, time, sleep. Um, those are some of the things that I you know that I lost. Most importantly, I lost a lot of relationships, unfortunately, personal relationships that I had, being because on my behalf there were sacrifices that a lot of people didn't know that I took. A lot of people didn't know that I had to take. You know, for to serve the purpose, to complete the mission. At one point, did your passion become pressure? It never did. It never did. Passion is the reason why. Passion was the always in the driver's seat of this this journey. If it wasn't for passion, the idea wouldn't even arisen. You know, and then passion took me from the beginning to the end, um, with hurdles, but no pressure. If your younger self saw you today, what would disappoint him? Because I'm um, complaining about how I was beat up, um, how I was stretched, things that like I say that were lost in the process, and not focusing on what was gained, but those losses and how I felt like mentally and physically I am Dad would probably take the younger me off because this is what we asked for. This is exactly what we asked for. But we just didn't know that. I just didn't know that, maybe he did. Maybe the younger me knew, but, the me today didn't know that, it was gonna take. You say you gambled everything. What was the moment you almost lost it all? It was maybe 2 summers ago. I didn't have nothing. Couldn't even pay my rent. Um, couldn't pay bills. Um, you know, one of my best friends had a wedding, you know, special time in his life, and I barely made it to be there for him. You know, um, I was almost close to even just selling my vehicle. You know, and one of my friends, told me don't do it. He told his mom that that Creston thinking about selling his vehicle. To get some money just to survive. And she was like, tell Creston he better not sell that vehicle. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I saw my way through it. Um, you know, shout out to Marlon Brooks, man, and his his mother, Patricia Pat Brooks. They 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 talked me down, and they seen something that I didn't even see. That it was going to be all right. Who paid the price for your ambition besides you? Beatrice Lee Coleman. B is what they called her. That was my mother. That's where I got my ambition from. A lot of people, always applaud me about the mother that I had. Say, man, your mom she used to be so sweet, and she was. But my mother had a fire in her that a lot of people didn't see. Um, I can tell you who had the opportunity to see that fire was our household, me and my siblings and my father and her coworkers. Um, my mom was one of those, if something wasn't right, if somebody wasn't getting treated fair or she believed in something, you was going to know it. She lost to compromise herself a few times for the betterment of others on a job site, you know. And I'm pretty sure in other areas of her life too, but that's just one thing that stands out for me. She was quiet, she was sweet, but she had a fire to her that she gave to me. And that's where my ambition come from. Did you ever question if this film was worth the strain it put on your family? In all honesty, I maybe slightly had questioned myself, and maybe, I'm being honest, maybe told myself, what did I just do? Meaning, did I bite off more than I can chew? But at no moment during this process, um, did I feel like it wasn't worth it. Oh, I knew it was, and it had to be done. What's something you regret in this process of making this film? Um, there's really no big regrets, to be honest with you, and I'm being honest. No big regrets. But one thing I wish I would have done, I guess it is a regret, or I say I learned not to second guess myself, not to second guess myself. Um, so that process taught me that. So I'm gonna turn that one into I'm gonna turn that negative to a positive on you with that one. Yeah. Was there ever a point where quitting would have been the smarter decision? Ooh, now that I'm here, where I'm at today, I'm just gonna say I never thought about quitting. It never. That's something that never crossed my mind. By any means necessary. I knew it had to be done. This film had to be completed. It was a mission, and not only completed, it had to be done in a particular fashion. So um, nah, I never. Nah, that was never the case. Never. Who didn't believe in this project? Were they justified at the time? I don't know who. I can't say one person that I know that didn't believe in the project, but I'm pretty sure it exists. And in that nutshell, um, I know some people that did believe in it also, including myself. So for those that didn't believe, I'm pretty sure I know it's out there, because it was a task, and I understand. And yeah, they were justified. That was their opinion. That was their thought. They were justified to believe so that it wouldn't happen. Mhm. Have you been overlooked, or do you think you haven't positioned yourself correctly yet? No, not overlooked. Not overlooked because I'm not done yet. Um, Positioning, still working on that. So I definitely can't say I've been overlooked because everything's not over yet. And then the process is still going right now. What doors were closed on you that should have been open? There wasn't closed. They were actually opened, but they might as well should have been closed. And I would have preferred that. Um, so it was a peculiar situation. Um, um, where when the film was complete, I had a world premiere at a local high school, at Ridgewood's High School here in Peoria, and I was going to hold the event there. And if we all being honest, they didn't want me to have it there. When I say they, I can't say any specific person or persons, but they didn't want me to have it there because to get the I never really got the official yes. It's hard to understand, but they allowed it. They allowed it to happen. They allowed for me to come in the building, but um, I walked into an ambush pretty much. So the doors wasn't literally closed or figuratively closed, but they might as well should have been. And mm, I probably would have rathered if they did. But outside of that, there's been no opportunities presented that I felt like I was worthy of or needed to take advantage of that I couldn't do. But I would definitely have to say that the world premiere at Ridgewoods High School. Be honest. Has your city fully supported you, or are you still fighting to be seen? Um, that's a no and a no. Um, I'm definitely not fighting for it to be seen or noticed or anything of that nature. And nah, they haven't fully supported. I have had support, but as a city, they haven't fully supported a film, a movie that focus on the beauty and the history of a city, you know, and it highlights the city. It puts a great light on the city of Peoria in this film. And it's an interesting story that the entire world um, can somewhere in that film relate to, depending, what walk of life or what angle you're looking at or coming from. But if you're human and you're alive, this is a film in a city that you probably would appreciate if you seen the film. But to answer your question, nah, they haven't fully supported it, and I have to add that's fine. I'm not one of those that um let's say complains about lack of support or anything because that ain't the reason I did this. It's not. So I was never looking for that, but I'm pretty sure it would be good for all of us. Let me tell you that. If the industry never embraces this film, does that change its value? If they don't, it doesn't change the value because the film had a purpose, a sole purpose. That's it. It was never um, the objective was never to make a film to get into the movie industry or anything like that. It was just to create a gift for particular individuals, for my high school, for the city of Peoria. So if it never reaches the industry or whatever, that don't control the value of the film, not at all. And I must add, just like with wine, it's gonna do nothing but get better. So nah, it wouldn't affect the value. What are you trying to prove and to who? I'll be lying if I didn't say I wasn't trying to prove to anybody. I was, but in a positive way. Um, I wanted to prove to Mr. Jim Bixby, rest in peace, that you were right. Prove him that he was right. In 2001, Mr. Bixby became my guidance counselor in college. He was also my guidance counselor in high school. And fortunately, he was my guidance counselor in high school. And he told me something one day. He said, you know what, Creston? One day, one day you're going to do something special. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to complete the film before his demise. But that's always one thing that stood out to me is one to prove him that he was right. You know, and that's why those are one of the reasons why Manual High School meant so much to me, because of those moments from those from that staff, that administration, the people around that building, you know, and I'm not the only one to feel this way. Is this film about basketball or something deeper you haven't said out loud yet? Yeah, people think it's about basketball, like it's based basketball. Um, just put it like this. In this film, basketball is only the character. Only the character. And maybe not even the main character. But no, this film isn't about basketball. Um, it's way more deeper and way more to it. But basketball is just, you know, just a character in the film. What does winning actually look like for you at this point? Look at me. This is it. This is it. I'm here. You know, it's not about what you're doing. Um, it's not about making marks. This is just about existing. I'm here. That's winning to me. I just shared a little story with you. Um, Wayne McClain is a guy that I still love to this day. He's no longer with us. He was my basketball coach. In my sophomore year, maybe it was my freshman year, he was telling another student. I don't know. I don't want to say this is verbatim, but this is the nature of what he said. He said Creston is going to be found shot dead in the head, laying in the alley somewhere. He told another student that, being 15 or 16 years old, that stuck with me. You know, as a matter of fact, he said I wouldn't live to see my 21st birthday. That's what it was. Yep. Yep. That was the addition to that. And, you know, I remember when I first turned 21, I was like, you know, I remember saying it literally, like he was wrong. But let me say this. He didn't say that to hurt me. Nah. He said that to move me, to move my spirit, to move my heart, to move my mind, so that wouldn't happen. You know, so that was just something that always stuck with me. So this is winning. I win. I'm a winner. Just by waking up, just by being here. And that's what it looks like for me right now. If this is the only film you ever make, what do you need it to say about you? First off, I, I'm gonna be transparent. I already have something in mind. Another film in mind. Another extraordinary film. I can't say that it'll be better than Orange and Black Beneath the Numbers, but it's definitely one that's going to shift with history and the world and the way um, the direction the world is moving in. But about this particular film, if I never make another one, um, all I just want, especially the alumni from Manual, the students that are to come to be students at Manual, to say that he really loved us, he really loved the school, and he actually cared, and he showed it, and that'd be enough for me. What responsibility do you feel to the people whose story you're telling? There's only one responsibility that I had, and that was to tell the truth, tell the tell the story right. Don't bend it, don't break it. You know, give the world who we are, and that's what I did, and that's the only responsibility I ever felt like I had. Not even to complete it, but I had that responsibility to tell the story. Finish this sentence. People think this film is about blank, but really, it's about blank. Basketball, life. People think this film is about basketball, but it's really about life. What would you say to the people who still doubt you right now? I respect it. I respect it. That's just the nature of things. Um, you know, anything that you do or anything, the game that you're playing or anything that you're trying to achieve, there's going to be obstacles and there's going to be oppositions, and that's the nature of it. And I understand that, and I respect it. That it's the just the nature of things. So um, only thing I would could share with them is, hey, I understand, I understand, I understand, and that's it. And say it with a smile. If you had one message to your city, your family, and the next generation watching this, what is it? My message to the city is, for the city, it'd be, I don't think we know who we are and where we are and the potential that this city has and the impact it it has had on the world and will have. Um, and to my family, I'm sorry. You know, I apologize. I apologize. If anyone feel like they were neglected or forgotten about or you know, not considered, I'm and my apologies. That definitely wasn't my intent. And for the next generation that's watching this, mm, you got some shoes to fill, but I want to tell you this. They are fit for you.